Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, Capricorns, here we go. Capricorns, obviously, we have sunrise behind me. And so I'm looking at this kind of as a newer energy. We just came through that full moon, which can bring stuff from the subconscious to the forefront. And now, after kind of purging or releasing things, let's take a look at whatever the kind of like the brightness, the newness is. We have a Knight of Cups. It is in the reverse. Knight of Cups in the reverse says, we're not going out chasing anything right now. Nine of Wands. Instead, like Capricorn might have been very close, able to wrap up a cycle in their life. But you know how sometimes, like, let's use this as an example. Say you remodel your bathroom and you've, replaced the vanity and you put in the new toilet and you did the tile work in the shower, but you still didn't get the baseboard glued back down. There's some little tiny details. You didn't hang up the towel rack yet. And it's been weeks, maybe months. And it's like, oh my God, I live in this still unfinished, you know, super annoyingly incomplete home. And it's like actually those couple things that we need to do, we just need to make, an hour of downtime to go in and, attach this, drill that in, put down the baseboard, and we're good. But it's been put off and put off. This is Capricorn clearing their schedule saying, no, no, I'm not going to go out and go do other things right now. I'm actually so close to finishing up this other project. I just need like an hour and then I can get that done. And then my whole life will feel like, oh my God, it's all so organized. My house is perfect. Now I'm using the idea of like housing renovations because I feel like that's a good example or good metaphor for when we're fixing something in ourselves. And it does feel like Capricorn is saying, all I have to do is a little teeny tiny little bit more healing. Why don't I just do that before? I mean, this could all happen in just this 1 week. This could be that there's a new person, Capricorn is interested in them, but instead of going out with this person tonight for drinks, Capricorn might be like, can I get back to you next week? I want to, but there's a couple things like my schedule's really full. Well, maybe it's not exactly, but maybe Capricorn needs these next couple nights to go home and just, finish processing whatever hurt or pain they had gone through. Maybe they just need to go to the gym a couple nights and sweat it out and just fully release something. We've got the 10 of Wands. They're so close. And we've got somebody who's got the clock or the watch in their hand. Capricorn is like this close. And look at this. And there's the Chariot. It's one more move on the chessboard and then we're done. What is this? Can we see? Is this like one more email, one more text, one more communication? Or is this, Eight of Wands? It is the act of finally really moving on from something. Now, let's say there had been a situation where Capricorn and another person had broken up, but they still had to go swing by and pick up something from that ex's house. This is like, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go pick up the last item so we can close this chapter. Maybe I even want to close it nicely. Maybe I want to send one final message to an ex and say, you know what? Honestly, I learned a lot. I'm glad that I met you. I don't leave this with unpleasantness in my mouth after all. I wish you well as also, maybe it's that it's closing something with one's higher self, finding the right words. It's letting go of something. It's finishing. This isn't a checkmate like, ha ha, I win. This is I'm glad that I'm moving forward. Let me embrace what comes next instead of be upset or stressed that anything ended. I mean, this could be, maybe we quit our job, give our 2 weeks notice because we're like, I am so not enjoying working here anymore. This and this and this and this are the reasons I don't like it. But then we go, you know what? Maybe the boss couldn't have given me a raise anyway. So while I wasn't earning enough, there's another job that pays me better anyway. Why am I mad that this boss isn't able to pay me more if they literally can't, or that's just what their rate is? They could still be a good boss, but it's not the way their company operates. Why can't I shake hands with them and say, thank you for the time here? You know what? I got hired on. I wanted to work here. Now I'm also, excited to keep expanding, but thank you for the time here. This says end things nice. It'll be better to not carry like, oh, that jerk, that blah, 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 blah. It'll be so much better to move forward with this feeling of, hey, it's all about my future. I'm letting go of something because it wasn't right for me, or it had played itself out, or it timed out, or, you know, there was no more that I could learn there, or there I had capped out how much I could earn at that job. But I don't have to leave mad. We don't have to get upset to let something go. We don't have to be either the villain or the victimized to simply be able to have outgrown a now. Oh, here we go with the sunrise again. I really feel like this is a turning point in Cap's life. This is a time where they're calm, they're empowered, they're graceful, they're closing a chapter, and they're moving forward. Okay, so closing the chapter, though, is a thing that has to be dealt with. They're not moving forward until this is closed. So that's what the new dawn is, though. It's I'm closing this with confidence, with peace, and with calm in my heart. That's really what this is. Then it's go time. It's like I can finish something, some project, I can finish it with grace, I can finish it, or I can say goodbye to somebody with, you know, compassion. And then, oh, it's so exciting. I can start my next chapter of life. I can take this leap forward. I can go somewhere else. I can move. I can, you know, go into another chapter of my life. I feel like this is awesome. This is a character that is really going to have an awesome next chapter because of the changes that they're making about how they end the previous one. I'm going to say I think that this feels like a relationship that is ending, and it's the way Capricorn closes this book with this personal power and this grace that is actually dissipating any hurt or pain. And then it's go time. So I kind of think endings and new beginnings are pretty much, you know, two halves of the same coin anyway, but it's like really fast. This could be Capricorn peacefully closes the chapter today, and tomorrow morning somebody new waltzes into their life, or they're ready to flirt, or they're just in a really good lighthearted mood. This feels amazing. We have strong Aries energy coming in. Let's get another one here. We got a King of Wands. Boy, we definitely have fire. We have passion. And we don't have a Capricorn that is still left thinking about an ex. We don't have a Capricorn that still has, you know, I'm picturing right now someone where if you've ever done any sewing, you know that when you sew something, oftentimes there will be like the little tiny threads that will still be like on the edges. And once you snip off those little loose threads, that's when the garment is fully done and ready and looks amazing and professional. I'm picturing it was just cutting away some loose threads for Capricorn. It could have been something though about Capricorn had to physically pick up the last of their stuff and move it out of somebody's house. And that as they complete that, or as they just say, you know what, I surrender that. I don't need that back after all. You know, thank you anyway, but I'll let you keep that. Goodbye now. Whatever this is, we have full completion, and then almost immediately we have a new adventure. Capricorn might take a little trip. This could be like somewhere this weekend. They might go hiking. They may meet somebody while they're out hiking. This could be, I'm literally picturing somebody who lives like in one of the Dakotas or someplace where there's beautiful, you know, like nature or places to hike, maybe, you know, going up to some bluff and overlooking a canyon or a plateau. There could be somebody who's horseback riding out on those trails, and this is who Capricorn meets. But everything in Capricorn's life is getting sunnier, warmer, brighter, because they're getting rid of the ice cold energy. Yeah, King of Pentacles in the reverse. I do think that was probably, and I don't really want to bring up exes in this, but if Capricorn had been with a fairly stingy person that was a soulmate, we have more than one soulmate. And soulmates are just the people that we connect to in life and we go through certain life experiences with. And it really looks to me like Capricorn is able to say, wow, I completed one journey with a soulmate and I learned a lesson. I learned how to not get mad at them for what they couldn't give to me, but I learned how to let them go with grace even if I know that that soulmate that I was previously with, was someone who's got a lot to learn about, giving, I learned how to let go. Now with this new soulmate coming on in, maybe I get to learn how to receive. As this person is coming in and projecting energy and warmth from their heart space, it really feels like Capricorn had a stingy relationship in the past, and they're about to like energetically choose this new partner who is very heart-centered. We have a Two of Pentacles, and it is like night and day difference. I do think that the irony will not be lost on Capricorn. It will be very obvious that, man, I'm getting good at dealing with soulmates. Like I'm better at identifying what the lesson's going to be. I also realize that, for every action in life, there is an equal but opposite reaction. And I feel like because of who Capricorn is, because they could get the lesson, because they looked at this as not something to fix or force or try to hold on to, but as something to release and then receive something else in its place. In this case, relationship, soulmate. Because Capricorn has been able to let go of one person and let go of it with grace and accept the lesson and let things be what they are, instead of saying, well, this isn't fair though. This person can't be stingy. They have to. They're a soulmate of mine. They have to be good to me. They have to be ready and evolved enough to love me back. Capricorn didn't decide to do that. They decided to acknowledge, I learned how to let them go, even though I loved them. And now I know how to receive a new partner, a new soulmate. So this is very much like this wonderful balancing act. Sometimes I do think that when we really learn the lesson and can stop living one lesson, that's when we get the next chapter. That's when something beautiful happens. Once in a while somebody stayed, you talk to a friend or something, they stayed married for 20 years and they were miserable, or maybe they lived with somebody for 20 years and then they separate, and 6 months later they meet somebody and they marry that person. And it's like, I don't understand. You were with somebody for all those years, but now you meet somebody new and you're ready to be married. How does that happen? Maybe because sometimes it's like I was learning a lesson that I was rejecting to be able to learn. And then once I accept it, then I can move on, and then the next lesson begins. That's how I would describe this right now for Capricorn. We have an Ace of Cups. We have the Sun. Oh my God, this is beautiful. It is an era of love coming into Capricorn's life at this point. It is an era of, an offer of love, the connection with someone, the clarity, the peace, the calm. All of this just looks really, it looks like it's the time to receive this. Judgment definitely is the time to receive this. I do think that this whole flow of life lesson is not lost on Capricorn. I think Capricorn is very attuned to why they couldn't have met this wonderful King of Wands that's so heart-centered until they gracefully released that person of their past, while still understanding that person of the past was a soulmate, was somebody they learned a lesson with. This was, I just think it speaks very well of who Capricorn is, and them making peace with the lessons in life, and them understanding that, this whole thing, every person we meet will help us learn something, instead of it being like, well, they're wrong and they need to fix this in themselves so then they can get over here and be with me properly. Capricorn doesn't operate that way. They're looking at it as, okay, I met someone, obviously it didn't work well. What was the lesson in this for me? It's not even about them. What is my lesson in this? Let me make peace with it. And once I've made peace with it, everything gets easy and love flows into my life. Very beautiful energy on this. Yes, Capricorn does end up with a completely different person. But it is, in this storyline, it's like what was supposed to happen for Capricorn. It's what they actually wanted to have happen. But it's all about them welcoming it in by first releasing the previous chapter fully and completely. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.